usual. So we're going to wait for a few minutes, see who is hopping on here. It is relatively early in the morning where I'm located. I don't know where everybody else in the world is and what time it is for all of you. We're going to be talking about Aries season today. I am excited. I know I posted in the community tab yesterday, I believe, a little bit about the energies of Aries season because I wasn't sure if I was going to have the ability to come on here and do a live stream with you guys. But here we are. It is such a huge, huge month that we are about to enter. Astrological month, of course. We are halfway through March as we begin Aries season. So we're going from essentially the equinox, which is, today. So from today, the 20th, the vernal equinox, all the way through, and we're going to be talking about the full moon, or the new moon rather, solar eclipse happening in Aries at 29 degrees of Aries, just as we begin to transition into Taurus season and the Mercury retrograde that begins with Taurus season. So lots to cover, lots going on. We have this week in this gateway of energy that just opened up. And go ahead and hop on when you guys get here and say hello so I know who's here. In this gateway of energy that is opening today with the equinox, we have the equinox, we have then the new moon in Aries at 0 degrees of Aries as Aries season begins. And then on the 23rd, which is still within this gateway, this stargate, as I like to call it, of energy, we have Pluto entering Aquarius. And there is a separate video on Pluto and Aquarius that I highly recommend. Really powerful changes that we're going to be experiencing from now until 2044, when Pluto stations squarely in Pisces with no more retrogrades back into Aquarius. And hello, let me see. Hello, Vita. Oh, I'm so glad you could make it. Who else is here? Hello, Leanna. Hello, Helen. Oh, wonderful. This is great. I feel like we're getting some people that we don't typically get on here. It's fun to do these at different times just for that reason, to see who else is able to hop on. And so I'm so happy that you're all here. All right, so let's see. I'm doing this live stream on my phone again because my internet service, hello, Evelyn, is still absolutely terrible. So I can't use, I have to use my, my data to stream on my phone. So I've got a few different devices going here. I have my star chart going on my old phone, and then I have my laptop going with my notes that I usually look at my phone for so that we can see the notes on Aries season. And before we get into these energies, I am just going to go over a few significant dates with you guys. And so on the 25th of March, so we just talked about this gateway of energy that opens today until roughly the 23rd, and everything that's going on during this gateway, which is a lot. So after that, we have on the 25th of this month, Mars entering the sign of Cancer. On the 3rd of April, Mercury will enter Taurus. And on the 10th of April, Venus will enter Gemini. We also have on the 21st, so this is where it once again gets interesting. And so on midnight on the 20th, all right, so this is when the 19th is transitioning into the 20th of April. We have a solar new moon eclipse, once again in the sign of Aries at 29 degrees of Aries. And then later on that day, the sun transitions into Taurus. And the day after, Mercury will go retrograde in the sign of Taurus. So it's really interesting to have a Mercury retrograde during eclipse season. Really, the day after the eclipse, we have this Mercury retrograde start. So there is going to be a retrograde type feel to the beginning of this eclipse season. And I will give you the other dates here. On April 6th, we have the full moon in Libra. So we have this new moon at 0 degrees of Aries tomorrow. And then we have the new moon solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Aries on the 20th. Right, midnight on the 20th. And then in between those two, we have the full moon in Libra on April 6th. And then after we get into Taurus season there, the 5-5 portal will be the second eclipse of this eclipse season, happening at 14 degrees of Scorpio. So that is, as far as the dates go, these are the dates that we're working with as the most powerful energies. And there's so much going on. I was trying to go through and map out all of these different moons for you guys, but it's just too much to talk about on here right now. Right? We got, there's a lot going on. So we're just going to get the gist and we're going to get the bulk of the energy here. Let me just check out the chat again for a second. I want to say hello to everyone else who might have popped on. Hello, Arnett. Yeah, oh yeah, the tower moment. That is exactly where a lot of us are in tower moments right now. That is going to factor right into what we're talking about here. And those of you who haven't caught it yet, I did do a pick a pile reading for the vernal equinox moving through Aries season. And it was interesting. Somebody asked me, and I wanted to address this. They asked me what happens if they're not feeling drawn to any of the piles in the pick a pile. And what I told them was that there may not be specific messages for them in that particular pick a pile if they're not feeling drawn to any of the crystals or the piles. And we have over 3,000 people in this tribe, plus whoever else might randomly stumble upon these videos. That's a lot of people to channel for, and some of us are going through very individual circumstances as well. All right, so we may not always, when I do those general readings, there may not always be a specific message for you in there. Don't worry about it. It happens to me a lot. It's very rare that I watch videos where I feel every now and then I find a video, because I do love watching tarot videos. So I definitely do watch some. It's every once in a while something hits and really resonates for me. All right, so if it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it does. You know, I'm picking up on whoever needs to hear it most, I feel like, oftentimes is what I'm channeling for, especially if there's we are a collective energy, right? We are a collective of souls here. So this particular collective, many of us are going through similar experiences at similar times, but there's always going to be those of us who are not, or who just didn't perhaps need the message as badly as others did at that time. Hello, Stevie. So that's sort of like how I kind of feel. That's my understanding of who I'm channeling for and why when we do these types of things. And I think that somebody did reach out to me saying that perhaps they needed a personal reading, and that may be what it is too. There may be more specific messages that you need, and you may be called to reach out in that way. And of course I'm beginning to have sort of a wait list going here again. I'm booking out into April now, but I am taking new clients and old clients, of course. So if anybody wants to book an astrology reading with me, a tarot reading, a healing session, a belief work session, all my information is in the description box below, as well, along with my website, where you can read about the different services that I offer. And I will, in a few months here, once we hit the summer months, I will be offering regression sessions as well, hypnosis sessions. So, and some powerful clearing sessions, entity clearings, removals, different things like that. So there's more on the horizon here. But getting back to these energies, but what was the point that I was making with that? Oh yeah, so some of you may want to check out the pick a pile, see if there are some messages. We're going to channel some more messages this morning regarding this Aries season. And so the most important thing, like I said, there's a lot happening individually, astrologically. I will go over a little bit what's happening right now for everybody who's watching this in the now moment, and know that these energies that we're going to talk about this morning that are currently happening will be going through the entire gateway that we have until the 23rd here. So the major aspects that we're going to talk about are going to be active throughout the next few days. And then we're going to talk about the journey through Aries energy that we are entering into, because this is powerful when we have two new moons, an eclipse, right? That take us through an astrological season starting at 0 degrees of a sign and ending at 29 degrees. That is the full progression through the energy of a sign. Hello, Mitchell. So we're having I like to call it the Fool's Journey. This is what I wrote in the community tab when I was writing about the energies of Aries season. And the reason I like to call it the Fool's Journey is because there are two cards in the tarot that different people attribute to Aries energy. I attribute the Fool to Aries energy. I really like that card for Aries. Hello, Jessa. Many contribute or link Aries energy to the Emperor card. The Emperor to me feels more Capricornian, but we're going to work with it for this analogy. I usually recognize both Aries and Capricorn. Thank you. Yes, go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't yet. Thank you for the reminder, Jessa. But I like the freshness of the Fool card, right? So we're talking about this journey through Aries energy as the Fool's journey. So we begin at 0 degrees of Aries tomorrow or today. Today we begin again at 0 degrees of Aries, right? We have that this powerful new moon. And then we go through this progression and this growth period. And this is a period of initiation for many. This is where that tower energy comes in that somebody was talking about. It's very much an initiation by fire. Remember, Aries is cardinal fire, all right? It is the first sign of the zodiac. This is the initiating point. That's why I like that Fool card. This is where the journey begins. We're being asked to be courageous. We're being asked to be fearless and bold. And when I say fearless, that doesn't mean that we're being asked to not be afraid. We're being asked to walk through those fears. We're being asked to acknowledge them, to stare them straight in the face, and to keep moving forward anyway. All right? We start at that point of initiation, that point of action. This is like a springboard. Hello, Flown. And then we move through this period of working with these energies. So we're working with the energies that Aries represents: courage, bravery, right? Action, initiation. Moving through this journey of empowerment, really, this journey working with our masculine energy. Because remember, Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the planet that represents our masculine energy, our willpower, our solar plexus. So a big journey working with that solar plexus energy as we move through from now until the 21st of April, 20th, 21st of April. And we culminate with that 29-degree eclipse in Aries. 29 degrees is significant for a couple of reasons. It is the final degree in each sign, right? We move from 0 to 29, and then we move to 0 degrees of the next sign. Many call it an anaretic degree. And what that means is that this is the make it or break it point of that energy. This is the culmination of a journey. Anytime you have planets or points at 29 degrees of any sign in your chart, it's a very significant energy for you in this lifetime. And so we're completing at 29 degrees of Aries on the 20th of May, or April rather, sorry. So there's going to be, hello, Flown, yes, Grand Rising. There is going to be just a lot of powerful energy, a lot of powerful initiations, probably a lot of tower moments. Like we said, for a lot of people, it may feel like things are completely falling apart, like things are completely out of control. We're just being asked to navigate the chaos as boldly and confidently and courageously as we can, right? On 420, yep. Highest point on 420. Very astute observation there. And to remember that it looks like when we view something from a higher perspective, chaos suddenly looks like order. But when chaos is viewed close up, that's when it appears to have no rhyme or reason to it. Hello, Baymax. Aries Nation, nice, love it. All right, so there is an order to the chaos. We just may not be able to see it. What we have to know and understand is that everything is being arranged for our highest and best good. For many of us, it's where we are, what we are going through and experiencing, it's preparing us for something. It's preparing us for what comes next. For many of us, most of us, right? It's preparing us for what we asked for. And so things are falling apart to come back together. And this is something that we always have to remind ourselves of during eclipse season, because eclipse season is wild like that anyway. So really, we're starting eclipse season right now, the energy of it. And then, of course, it's going to intensify once we get to that 29 degrees on 420. And then we're going to move through the 5-5 portal is going to be that lunar eclipse in Scorpio, and that's going to be intense. All right, as if this wasn't. They're both going to be very, very intense. A lot of times, lunar eclipses tend to be the ones that shake us up a little bit more because they're so deeply emotional. But with this 29 degrees of Aries point, this new moon, for many, I feel, may feel like a lunar eclipse, even though it is a solar eclipse. I think that the exact definition of it is actually a hybrid eclipse. So that's kind of perfect, right? So this is one version. There's a lot of energies here, and I do want to talk about this. We have Neptune very active throughout Aries season. We have Jupiter, Chiron, Neptune extremely active. We have Venus pretty active. We have Saturn pretty active. The nodes, right, which we know represent fate, represent life purpose, where we've been, where we're going. So this is a lot of really powerful energy. Mercury very active as well. A lot of really powerful energy and a lot of really personal and collective energies with Pluto entering Aquarius, with Neptune active. All right. And we're continuing that journey of Pisces that we talked about during Pisces season. That journey of bringing more of our soul light into our physical vessel, aligning more with our soul, establishing that powerful connection with our soul, with our higher self. Moving toward our life purpose, moving further down the path, having that path become more illuminated for us. All of these things are happening. Big healing happening today. And during this gateway of energy, I told you guys we were going to talk a little bit more specifically about the energies going on right now during this gateway from the equinox until Pluto enters Aquarius. So we have Chiron and Jupiter conjunct in the sign of Aries. So this is where we're going to have a lot of powerful cathartic healing going on. This is where wounds that we've been working on healing for a long time, we may have a breakthrough around this energy. And what Spirit's saying right now as we're saying this is the breakthrough is going to be like, we can facilitate this breakthrough and get the most out of it by taking action. All right, so it's like the mental lights have gone off, and now what's left is taking the actions around the realizations and the understandings that we've had in order to really ground in this healing energy, so to speak. All right, so we have that going on. We have the Sun conjunct Mercury today. And Mercury and the Sun are going to be there. Right now we have the Sun at 29 degrees. Later on today, it will move. I believe it's later on today. Let me double check this for a second here, you guys. Tomorrow. All right, so we'll say for the bulk of today, we have that 29 degrees of Pisces energy going on. Tomorrow, that 0 degrees of Aries energy with the new moon, of course. It fades from one day into the next, so I wasn't sure if we were going to get there later today, but it's looking like tomorrow during that new moon, of course. But we've got that energy present right now, even though the Sun is currently, as we're recording this, at 29 degrees of Pisces, that Mercury at 2 degrees of Aries. We're feeling that energy of the Sun and Mercury. And we have Neptune at 25 degrees of Pisces, still shining its energy upon the Sun, upon our consciousness, our life force energy. The Sun represents our consciousness and our life force. All right, so there's with Mercury, which represents the linear lower mind, so to speak, and then Neptune, which represents our soul consciousness and energy. There's a beautiful fusion happening here. It feels like Neptune is slowly infusing our consciousness with more of this higher vibrational energy. Remember the analogy that we used of, if you look at chaos dead on, it looks like chaos, but if you look from that higher perspective, you can see the rhyme and the reason to it. That's the energy. That's Neptune bringing us in that higher perspective. So expect that we are going to have that ability. The way that Spirit's putting it to me right now is we're going to have the ability to choose. Do we want to view things from that higher perspective, or do we want to get stuck in the linear mind? All right, we have the choice to open up our consciousness, to open up our minds, or to keep them closed. All right, to keep focused on the mundane, or to allow the spiritual to infuse the mundane and make it, and allow us to, because it was already divine. I was going to say make it divine, but it's already divine. Allow us to see the divinity in everyone and everything, in every lesson. That's what Spirit's saying, is there are some powerful soul lessons happening right now. Like we said, this is an initiation by fire. Can you see the higher spiritual order in it? Can you appreciate the experience, the challenge for what it is? For the growth that it's giving you? Can you see the opportunities for your soul advancement inherent in that? All right. This also just makes our minds on like a mundane astrology level. Sun conjunct Mercury, it puts the mind into overdrive. Hello, Ty. Yes, of course you are. Always, always. Yeah, feeling stuck does suck. And I think a lot of us in one way or another have felt that way. So right now, like we're beginning to get the movement. All right, where it's like that springboard that can launch us into a whole new level of our soul's journey if we're ready to go, if we allow ourselves to be weightless. Ooh, right? No, this is interesting. So what I'm being reminded of right now is you need a little weight. If you want to really launch yourself up, like say you're like jumping, you're bouncing on something, right? You need some weight in order to create the action that allows you to bounce, right? You don't want to be too heavy because then you're not going very far, but you want to be just heavy enough to get that nice bounce. I'm thinking of like when you're jumping on a trampoline or something. All right. And so it's an art. We want, and this is why, this is coming up. This is why we're being reminded, like, we don't want to be heavy in the way of like, we don't want to allow, that heavy energy to weigh us down, right? We don't want to become so weighted that it like anchors us into this 3D template, right? But we want to be grounded and weighted enough so that we don't just kind of float away. Right? This is why it's so important to be grounded, to be connected to this human experience that we're having, to be connected to this planet, because we came here for this planet. All right. There's a lot of confusion around like the reasons that we came here. Yes, we came here for humanity, but we came here for this planet. She is first and foremost who and what we are giving our assistance to, our energy to, right? We are here to help her raise herself up. So we want to be connected to her, but we do want to, we want to be light enough so that we're really able to get some air here, so to speak. I guess that's the best way to explain it. I'm trying to feel into if there's anything more to that analogy that wants to come through. The weight. Okay, so the weight. When Spirit's saying like we have to have some weight to us in order to get that momentum, to get that bounce. The weight that we have left, that's this next level of trauma that we're moving through. All right, that we're healing right now. And so that darkness, that weight that still exists within us, that's what allows us. It's like delving into that, opening up to that, to heal that, to integrate that is what provides that bounce that lifts us up and really gets us flying, gets us going there. That's the completion of that message coming through now. All right. And then anything else that we want to talk about? Of course, during the moon is going to join the sun in conjunction with Mercury and loosely with Neptune as well. Hello, DSA. Welcome, beautiful. Let's see here. Want to make sure I didn't miss any more messages. Hello, McKenna. Welcome. Welcome. So happy to have you here. I got to take that down. That was driving me nuts there. All right. Actually, I think I'm going to, sorry. Excuse me, you guys. It's early in the morning for me right now. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with all aspects of myself, my hair, my life. But I have the opportunity, so I wanted to get on here and do a live stream with you guys. All right, that feels a little bit better. There's no way to avoid looking at myself while I'm doing this. I'm talking to you guys, but I'm seeing my reflection. So like, if it's too chaotic, it like drags my attention elsewhere. All right, what else do we have going on right now? We have Juno conjunct the North Node and Venus. So that's a big energy too, right? So there's a lot of energy that's calling us forward when it comes to partnerships, when it comes to relationships. My hair, my life. Yeah. It's fortunate I'm not a Leo because I don't know if you guys have sort of gathered or garnered, but I have like the craziest hair ever. And I would go insane if I were a Leo. It's just, I've had to kind of like give that, like, let that go. You know, like having like gorgeous hair that always looks kempt and that's just not for me in this lifetime. And that's okay, right? Nobody has it all. We just got to accept what we got, right? Exactly. I love that. I love that, Stevie. Exactly. The less fucks you give, at least about the stuff that doesn't matter, right? It's like, give a fuck about the things that matter. Don't, the rest of it, just let it go. It's not what's important, right? We have to, that's such an important thing for us to know and understand as we're moving forward here. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about prioritizing what is important, what truly matters, right? Because it's all these little things. And that's why that came up, right? All these little things like the way our hair looks and this and that, right? All these little 3D things that we focus on. And that's not to say don't take care of yourself. Don't take pride in your appearance. Of course, do that, especially if it puts you the way it puts me in a better headspace. Absolutely do that. But I'm saying it's like all these little things. We can always find things to distract us. Right? The world is always seeking to do that, right? This is a world that is addicted to a distraction that will distract us from what really matters. So it's all about continually bringing our focus back. All right. And I find myself, and this is one of the, this is why this is coming up too. This is one of the things that this eclipse and the energy with the sun conjunct Mercury with Neptune in there. One of the things that is bringing in is like, where does your mind run away with you? Where do you get, at the end, it's still all illusion, exactly, McKenna. Where do you get all tripped up in your mind and you allow this monkey mind to keep you obsessing and stuck in these obsessive loops that distract you from what's really important? All right? Where we're thinking about, you know what I'm talking about. Whether it's worrying, you're stuck in the past, you're stuck in the future. You're worrying, obsessing about some interaction that you had 5 minutes ago, 5 hours ago, 5 days ago. All right. We're just, when we get into that energy and we start hyper focusing on all these little things that are not important, that's our mind taking us away from what really matters. All right. So the best way to bring our mind back is through meditation, of course. But it's through reminding ourselves about that too. And one of the things that I find is the most helpful when it comes to this type of energy is to stop myself and say, in 5 years, is this going to matter? Will I even remember this in 5 years? If the answer is yes, okay, let's address it. But not just think about it. Let's actually address it. Let's think constructively as far as like solution oriented, right? Or let it go. One or the other. All right, so moving on here. Yeah, so a lot happening with partnerships and relationship right now with that Juno conjunct the North Node and Venus energy. Hello, Stephanie. Welcome, beautiful. We're really looking here at what relationships are we bringing forward with us and which are we not. All right, which relationships are serving our positive soul growth and which ones are hindering that? And we're really letting go of the ones that aren't. We're reevaluating, especially with this energy of everything being in Taurus here, what our values are in relationships, what we value in, absolutely with Juno here representing romantic partnership, long-term commitment, in our committed relationships, those types of relationships, but also in our friendships, our business partnerships, every type of our family relationships, every type of relationship in our lives. What does do these person's values match up with mine? Right? What do I value in a connection with another? Are these meeting my not, yes, expectations, but in a positive sense? A lot of times when we use the word expectations, it has a negative connotation, like we shouldn't have any expectations. And I guess maybe expectations we shouldn't, but we should have standards. All right, and the difference between an expectation and a standard is an expectation is how I think you're going to act. A standard is how you must act in order to remain in my life. All right. And so we should never expect that a person is going to behave a certain way because we have no control over that. And if we expect that and then they don't, then we become disappointed, a resentment develops, right? But we can set a standard. And if somebody does not meet that standard, then we remove them from our lives. All right. And so those standards, like my standards that I set are that I be treated with respect. All right. That I be treated kindly. That people refrain from projecting their own wounds onto me. And if they do so, that's fine, right? It happens, but that they're willing to look at that. Just as I hold myself to these same standards. That's what's important about standards, is if we have standards for other people in our lives and the way that they behave, we have to be willing to apply those same standards to ourselves. And some of us, we're going to be seeing where it is that perhaps there's an imbalance there as far as that goes. All right, so that's a little bit of the difference between expectations and standards there. And we're really looking at who is living up to our standards, who's going with us, who is on this timeline. Remember, people have been dropping off like crazy. If they are not on the same timeline that you're on, they are moving out of our reality slowly but surely. So continue to allow that process to happen. This is definitely a time where if we are finding that there are people in our lives that do feel very aligned, we're anchoring in those relationships. You may hear about engagements and different things like that going on right now as well. And these wouldn't be, for the most part, like spur of the moment engagements, like two people that just met. These would be like long, stable commitments, taking it to the next level. All right. We're going to hop into some cards here. The rule of 5, how important will it be? 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 years. I like that, Mitchell, exactly. Clear. Let's get some energy for Aries season. Aries season. That Mars and Cancer energy is going to be interesting, right? Especially with all this fiery energy that we have going on. In Cancer, Mars is a little bit watered down, so to speak. We are also, one thing to remember about Mars and Cancer that people don't necessarily always talk about is that our emotions, we tend to be more reactive to our emotions when Mars is in Cancer. And especially with Chiron being so active, even though there's a lot of beneficial aspects to Chiron, we want to make sure that we are taking extra care to respond rather than react. Our decisions tend to be based more in emotion, which is, it's good to utilize our intuition, right? We want to make sure that we are still inviting in some, we're allowing our feelings to influence and to give us more information on our decisions, but we're not making decisions solely based upon feeling. Because remember, feelings are fleeting. Or emotions are fleeting, rather. We talked about in another live stream that we did the difference between feelings and emotions. And we talked about feeling when we're working with that energy. We talked about the energy of the truth within our hearts versus all of the emotions that we filter through in a day, right? And being able to tell the difference between what our truth is and what is just a fleeting emotion. All right. Let's see. Venus and Taurus, that's a beautiful energy, right? Venus in the sign, one of the 2 signs that she rules. In the sign that she feels the most home in. All right, we got that Empress kind of energy with that. So a very sensual energy coming through with Venus and Taurus. Very much, some people may be, it can be a bit of an indulgent energy, right? So we want to watch out for that. People may be more... feeling more of that attachment and energy to their possessions, really focusing on wealth, focusing on all the pleasurable things in life and really enjoying those pleasures. And we do want to enjoy those because that's part of why we came here, right? There are ways that we can enjoy pleasure on this earth, just as there are ways we can experience pain that probably rival all other dimensions. So really allow yourself to indulge in that, but don't overindulge. There's definitely, between Mars and Cancer and Venus and Taurus, there's potential for overindulgence, especially when it comes to indulging in our emotions or indulging in the things that, the ways that we soothe our emotions, I guess you could say, right? If we're feeling overly emotional, indulging in food, indulging in other types of behaviors, we want to be wary of that. So we have the King of Cups coming out here with the Hierophant. There's that emotional mastery energy right there. All right. The powerful lessons around our emotions. We're going to be learning a lot about our emotions as we move through Aries season here. How those relate to our actions. whether we are, where it is that we find ourselves able to react rather than, or respond rather than react, and vice versa. I feel like, another interesting thing that I'm getting here for somebody or some people is there may be events that you're called to attend, or it's like I'm seeing like the black tie events, you know, like fundraisers, like it's reminding me of all those things that really wealthy people do when they get together for different causes and stuff like that. And it's kind of more an excuse to rub elbows with each other and sort of display their wealth by making these donations and all of this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I've never actually been involved in those circles. This is just what I see in like TV shows and movies. I don't know, but for some reason they're bringing it into my head. I think it really does happen though, right? In the higher echelons of society, being invited to some type of event like that, or being in a situation where you have to, there's like an established code of conduct, and there's an established way that people conduct themselves. I guess that is this kind of two ways to say the same thing, right? Having to play the part or dress the part. For some people, this could be like an awards ceremony that you're invited to. For some people, this could be like a, I don't know, a work party even. I'm not sure, but just situations where you have to kind of like there's a way that you have to behave, and to the energy of the diplomat keeps coming up here. Like a traditional, for some people, it might even be something else, like a bar mitzvah or something just like random like that. I don't know why that's coming through. Is there anything else about this? It's like using tradition in order to get what you want. It's like doing something in a different way. You tie. So I pictured an event in a biker gang hall. I mean, whatever, right? But it's like playing the game in order to get what you want. And it doesn't feel like that in a low vibrational way. It feels like if there's something that you need. Like, for instance, we'll go with the benefit energy, right? Throwing a benefit where there are going to be these wealthy benefactors. And you don't necessarily have to buy into, like, you know, we talked about how their motivation might be to just rub elbows with each other and show off their wealth. Show how giving and generous they are. It doesn't really matter why they're doing it. You can still take advantage of that energy to get what you need. Say you have a project that you're trying to finance or something like that. Don't be afraid to utilize that type of energy to your benefit. I think that's kind of like what that's saying there. Somebody may be calling in like a political favor or something too. I don't know. Just really interesting energy with that. Give me anything else here. And there are going to be situations, just bringing this more out into a more generalized thing. There are going to be situations here where we're being called to employ this energy of diplomacy. This is that energy where we're talking about the difference between reacting and responding. Where we're being called to respond. In this, the King of Cups right now to me has a very Libra type energy. And we do have that full moon in Libra coming up on the 6th of April, right? But there's definitely an energy here. We have the Hierophant here, but I'm also feeling like the energy of the Hanged Man of like doing something different, right? Doing an old thing, but doing it in a new way. And there's a spiritual lesson here in the ways that we're able to conduct ourselves, especially when we are feeling emotionally triggered or when the emotions are running high. All right, now we have the Chariot coming out here with the 5 of Swords. And this deck, by the way, I try to tell everyone what decks I'm using. is the tarot for empaths, Reiki, and energy healers. All right. Persevering willpower. Five of Swords, ruthlessly win. All right. So this is definitely about grit, about tenacity, about perseverance. This is what we're being, and this is funny, right? Because we're talking about the Fool's journey. We're talking about the journey from the Fool to the Emperor. And we can really see that energy coming through here, right? Right, beginning with the Fool, and then we become the Emperor. The Emperor that, to me, also represents Capricornian energy. We see that with the perseverance, the tenacity, continuing to move forward. But this is the energy we want to watch out for here. It says ruthlessly win. This is the balance of Aries energy, right? Aries energy in its more immature version can be a very much the energy of like, winning at all costs. All right, there's a competitive energy here. For some people, it's like that streak of competitiveness that exists within all of us may really get triggered in some way during this Aries season. We have Justice, Fair Judgment on the bottom of the deck, once again relating to Libra energy, right? We're working with that axis, the Libra Aries axis, the self versus the other. All right, winning at all costs versus compromise. That's the energy that I'm feeling here with this. It's like there's something that you want. And this could be not even just, I could be tapping into some collective energies here as well, right? Something that somebody wants, and they want to win at all costs. They want this thing to happen, to go through, to exist at all costs. And this is the energy. So this is showing us the juxtaposition of energy here. This is the energy that's gotten us in so much trouble, right? The energy of, I don't care who I have to step over in order to get to the top. And this energy where we've been programmed to look at everything as a competition. Instead of working together, it's like that energy, the way that this society and these entities and energies that control this society, right? The way that they've programmed us to be at odds with each other, to always think that I have to get what I need, right? The survival mentality, regardless of who else gets run over in the process. And there's always going to be, if there's a winner, there's always a loser. All right, it's that kind of energy. This is the energy that we're moving out of into an energy. That's the power over energy. Into this power with energy that we are transitioning into, which says we can all win together. All right, there doesn't have to be, we can all be winners. There does not have to be a loser. But there's also an energy here. So it's like learning the different ways that we can achieve our aims and our goals. All right. Learning and understanding there's a way that I can get to the top and actually like not have to step over bodies along the way. Right. There's a way that I can work and collaborate with people in order to reach my goals. There's a way that we can all be successful here. There's a way that I can get what I need through diplomacy, through fair, just, and right action that's not harmful. I feel like some people are going to get a choice between two paths. Do I go the path that may harm some, or do I go the path with harm to none? There may also be situations here where people are being invited or called to go against their own morals and integrity in order to get something that they really want. It's like it's being dangled in front of us, but the ways and means to getting it go against things that we believe in. And so it's like, do we have the courage to refuse to go that route? And I feel like as soon as we do that, another path will reveal itself. But it's like that choice point first. We have the Two of Swords underneath Justice here. All right. Interesting. But there is something for each and every single one of us, something that we truly want, that is coming within reach. But we have to really apply ourselves in order to earn it, to get it. Anything else here before we move on? I'm wanting to pull the traditional Moonology cards here. Got the Six of Coins with the Queen of Swords. Yeah, see? Thinking strategically, and this is air energy here with generous giving. All right? So this is the path of benevolence. There's a selfish path and opportunity laid out before us, and there's also the path of benevolence. There's a way to kind of like move through with brute force. And there's a way to be strategic, but also kind at the same time. It's like that art with this Six of Coins, right? The art of giving and receiving. Some of us too, it's like we may come up with an option where we have an option to either take or give. And what do we choose? Where we have the option to put somebody else ahead of ourselves. Perhaps there's somebody, we get offered something and we know there's somebody else who needs it more than us. We got the Tower on the bottom of the deck here. With the Eight of Coins, acquiring expertise, okay? This is simply another reminder from Spirit that these Tower moments going on in our lives, they are building us up. They are helping to create. And it's not so much that they're creating the outer circumstances. These Tower moments are, for a lot of us, internal. And they are crafting us into the person who is capable and able to have the things that we want, to do the things that we desire to do. It's very much the energy of like the pressure that's creating the diamond here. And then interestingly enough, we have the Page of Cups, new excitement with Temperance reversed, reckless imbalance. So there's going to be a lot of shiny new things for some of us dangled in front of us during this Aries season as well. Do we have the discernment to understand that not all that glitters is gold? And once again, to look at what's important. All right. And to temper that recklessness that is kind of a hallmark of Aries energy, right? Immature Aries energy with that strategy, with that higher insight, really looking at that bigger, higher picture there. All right, we're going to pull a couple Moonology cards now. Let's tell us some more about this Aries season. Clear. And for those who are just joining, first of all, go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't yet. Also, if you haven't checked out the Vernal Equinox pick-a-pile reading, there may be something in there for you. As I said, there's not going to be something in there for everyone. There are only 3 piles, and there's how many of us, right? But if something resonates or draws your attention, there may be additional messages in there for you. All right, Aries season 2023, new moon to new moon here. New moon to solar eclipse. All right. We have a new romantic cycle begins with your commitment is being tested. Interesting. And this is, yes, this came out with the romance card. So this is definitely in relationships. But this is also in general, I think, our commitment to our goals, our commitment to our dreams. Are we willing to stay committed to whoever or whatever it is when things get hard? All right. It's easy to stay committed to something, just like it's easy to have faith when things are going smoothly, right? But when it becomes more challenging, are we able to hang in there? Do we really want it? Right? Is the juice really worth the squeeze? For some people, there may be tests when it comes to going back to with the romantic cycle begins energy here. There may be people coming back in to, if you're having trouble in your relationship, there may be people coming back in to kind of test your commitment to that person. I'm feeling this in all aspects, though, not just relationship. I'm feeling this like, it's really what it feels like is a test of our integrity, a test of our morals, a test of like, it's like that thing, that carrot, that fruit that's dangled in front of us, right? The temptation. It's like a very devil card kind of an energy with that, but it's like Spirit saying, do you really want this? Are you really committed to this? Are these really truly your ideals? Do you stand behind these? And for some people, it's like the answer. For some people, it's important to like recommit to something. For some, though, it's kind of like if you've been settling for something that's less than what's really meant for you, Spirit may be testing you to see that as well. Or it's like throwing something that is below you, so to speak, in front of you to see if you fall for it. Or giving you something that is more aligned with what you actually truly want and seeing if you have the courage to take it, to accept it. But in every situation, staying true to your values. All right, handling everything in a way that is fair. And holding all in the highest light. For some people, though, with this romantic energy here, it's kind of like the new cycle involves you actually staying and committing to working through things. It's like people who generally run when things get rough, even if the relationship is worth fighting for. This is like a Spirit saying, are you willing to actually put in the work to make something better? To heal and grow with somebody versus just jumping ship. That's what the new cycle is about for some. For some, it's like your commitment to what you truly ask for, what you truly want, desire, and deserve. That's what's being tested here. For some people, it's like the commitment to yourself, to your own self-love journey, which must come first. All right. And of course, that can show up in the form of a temptation as well, right? Confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo coming out. Tell us more. All right. What just fell out here? Be bold and make the first move. Yeah. Yeah, so for some of you guys, when it comes to somebody that you've had your eye on, perhaps, somebody that you have feelings for, going beyond relationship stuff, this could be a job that you really want. This could be a partnership, a collaboration that you've really been desiring. Whatever it is, like you're being asked to make the first move here, right? And this is, of course, classic Aries energy as well. Being the initiator, cardinal fire, right? You being the one to get something started, to initiate something. If you typically wait for somebody else, you wait for the job offer. You wait for the person to ask you out, right? You wait for somebody to call you. This energy is saying do the opposite. Be the one that initiates it, that starts something here. Be bold, be confident. It's like somebody or something is just waiting for you to make the move, and it's your turn, so to speak. Especially if you're not typically the one that makes the first move, especially if you like to feel really comfortable before you make a move, right? Like if we're using the analogy of like asking somebody out, you want to be really sure that they're into you before you take that step. All right, like you're like doing serious recon to make sure that you're not going to be rejected, right? Or you know that this job is definitely going to hire you. You know, whatever it is, you're being asked to, you may not have that level of confirmation before you make that effort, you take that step this time. Yeah, North Node, step out of your comfort zone. All right. We're really being called out of our comfort zone in some way, shape, or form. We are being asked to make the initiator. Something is not going to start progressing or moving forward until we're willing to take that step, whatever that step is, whatever that situation is. It's going to be different for each and every single one of us. All right? Do it. Start that project, right? Reach out to that person. Put in that, go beyond putting in a resume, right? If you want a job, take it there yourself, all right? Don't just email it. Let's get really creative and really bold with this. That's what Spirit wants from us right now. That's what the situation is requiring. And then we have the end of a tough cycle approaches, balance spirituality and practicality, and your dreams need a practical plan. All right, and this is full moon in Capricorn, full moon in Pisces, and full moon in Taurus energy here. So 3 full moon energies in a row, you guys. What does that mean? A lot of big explosive energy. With full moon in Aquarius on the bottom of the deck, show the world the real you, okay? So there's a lot of energy here about practicality, right? And the balance between spirituality and practicality. And this is, of course, one of the major tenets or lessons of Saturn and Pisces. If you guys haven't checked that video out yet, I highly suggest that you do. That's going to be a powerful transit as well, going until 2026. So somebody has been, or some of us have been, I will say, spending a little too much time daydreaming and not enough time taking action. All right. Spirit wants us to, remember, Aries season, take that action. Don't just set those intentions. Don't just visualize. Actually take some actions as well. In order to align ourselves with the version of us that has the thing that we want, we have to do the things that that person does. All right. The doing is very important here. All right. There has to be some planning. You know, it's like if you say, for instance, something like, I want to be a published author. Great. What have you written lately? You know, it's that kind of an energy. All right. I want to be a Reiki practitioner. Okay. So have you signed up for a class? All right. I want to be more connected to my higher self. All right. So when was the last time you meditated? Right. These are the things. It's the action is so important. All right. And for some people, I feel like there's been I want to read more into this painful cycle energy here. I have some ideas about this, but I want to see what other energy we can get here. It really feels like for some people, it's just like this energy where it's been like initiation through initiation through initiation. Just a lot of tower moments and just a lot of really intense energy. And I feel like whoever I'm talking about here, one of the readings in the vernal equinox pick a pile is going to resonate for you. Maybe a couple. And it's like that energy is finally coming to a close, but it's because you've put in the work that has been required of you in order to close out this cycle, in order to close out these lessons. You're taking the action around that. And now it's like you're ready to move forward, but you need a practical plan in order to do so. All right. And you have to, that plan has to be both equal parts, spiritual, right? Energetic and physical, grounded. All right. Clear. Tell me more about this tough cycle, full moon and Capricorn energy here. What wanted to pop out there? Valor. All right. 7 of Wands. Then we got the Ace of Pentacles here, the Fool, and the 3 of Wands, which in this deck is Virtue. All right. 10 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. This deck's called, says Ruin. This is the Thoth Tarot, by the way, but it's inverted. So that would be the opposite, right? All right. So this is, this cycle has really been a lesson of standing in your spiritual power, of standing your ground. All right. And there is something with the Ace of Discs and the Fool here, right? This is beautiful. This is a brand new beginning, a brand new, very physical beginning, right? Something in the physical world, All right. You've been, this process has been helping you, this cycle, this Capricornian, so this is like a Saturnian cycle energy here, soul lesson, has been helping you build your spiritual fortitude, your emotional fortitude. All right. And now there's a new beginning happening. This is like, so this would be like, very, very new. For some people, this would be like literally moving to a new place, starting a brand new job, something material like that. Like not just an emotional new beginning, like a physical new beginning and energy here. But there is, with the Fool here, right? The Fool's journey, like we were talking about, there's a risk that has to be, there's this energy of taking a risk here. And what Spirit's saying is on the other end of this too, there are some people who feel so connected spiritually that they kind of leap without thinking. And like you may want some sort of like, I don't want to say necessarily like a safety net, but you want something in place. So for instance, in this particular situation, it feels to me like you don't want to just like if you're leaving a job, you don't want to just quit with no idea what you're going to do next. I feel like some people, like you may have people who depend on you too, and it's just that's not a wise decision. All right, or something like that. Like you need, it's like moving to a new place, but with no idea, like just jumping in blind, right? You want to feel out the area a little bit. You want to maybe at least like visit there, have some idea of what's available, have some idea of like what the resources that you need, and begin to accumulate some of those resources. So it's like have that courage. Have that faith, but couple that with some sort of something solid as well. That's what I'm feeling for that energy there. And for some of you guys, this is simply saying like, don't get stuck too far in your masculine or your feminine. Don't get stuck too far in the logic or too far in the faith. All right, find a balance somewhere in the middle. And then we have the Virtue, the Three of Wands card coming in with the Your Dreams Need a Practical Plan. So this is once again setting those powerful intentions, but then following that up with action. That's just Spirit just really wants us all to be clear about that as we move forward. I want to actually had the Death card on the bottom of the deck there. I want to close with a couple Intuit Oracle clear cards for us. Oh, today is also the day that I will be it's the equinox, right? So today's the day where we're choosing a winner for the Intuit Tarot contest. So I am going to, I'll probably maybe pop on and just, life has been so crazy lately. I did not make a list of everybody. So I was going to actually do it live, like pull the name, but that's not going to work out. So I'm going to post it in the community tab. So be checking in the community tab. I'll be posting the winner on there. And if they don't see it, I may just do a quick video just saying real quick who the winner is. But yeah, I have to like write the names down and actually like pick them out of a hat or whatever I'm going to do here. So it's going to take a little bit. It's going to take some time to do that. I don't want to like go through that whole thing. I actually don't have time to like go through preparing all of that in the live stream. But be on the lookout for that later today. The announcement of the winner of the Intuit Tarot deck. All right. And then I'll give you my email to contact me so we can set out shipping arrangements and stuff like that. All right, Aries season. Let's get a couple Intuit Tarot cards to wrap this up here. Anything else that this season will be bringing us? All right, we have the Road and the Squirrel. Once again, what is one of the major things squirrels represent is saving up, right? Storing their nuts, being prepared. All right. travel, opportunities, weighing options, multiple choice journeys. Yeah. Yeah, so if you guys are traveling, if there are decisions and options, make sure that you're weighing those options to an extent. And make sure that you're fully prepared for whatever journey you're taking. For some of you guys, it's like this might be a time to start saving up some money. I feel like there is going to be a journey on the horizon, and you're going to want to be financially prepared for that. So, this is not a time to be spending lavishly, and with Venus and Taurus, we may really want to do that. Utilize the other side of Taurus. The Taurus can be both extravagant and an extreme hoarder. Aim toward the hoarding side more than the extravagant side right now. Then we have the raccoon coming out with the Tower. Hierarchy, legal systems, experience. Let's see here. Problem solving, entrepreneur. Interesting. Yeah, for some of us, there are going to be people here who are in this energy of kind of like a think tank kind of an energy of finding new solutions to old systems. All right. This is an energy too of like questioning the hierarchy, questioning the people in places and positions of power. Questioning the guidance that we're receiving. Spirits are reminding us to check all guidance that we are receiving against our own higher self and our own resonance. This is also about somebody really going into business for themselves, is what I feel like too. A lot of people are going to be doing that, I feel like. And some people, I feel like somebody's going to be brought online at a company or something like that to help them either get out of debt or to help them figure out new and innovative solutions. And you're going to be really good at that. And this doesn't necessarily have to be, this could be like a high vibrational company that's asking you to come aboard to help them to diversify, to help them to become more relevant, something like that. Somebody may be going into a career where you do this in general. I'm thinking like, you know, like those shows like where somebody comes in and gives a business a makeover, like that kind of an energy or something. A consultant, perhaps somebody being hired on as a consultant. Interesting. Then we have the ladybug, vibrant, abundance, good health, wishes coming true. This is beautiful energy. Anything else as far as this ladybug goes? The ring. And then the sun. Yes. All right. Yeah. Somebody, this is like we said, there could be commitments coming through during Aries season. Unexpected with the scythe here. Unexpected endings, unexpected beginnings. Some people are getting married. I'm telling you guys. Some people are definitely getting married, or there's another type of contract or commitment happening here that's going to bring a lot of beauty, health, and vitality. Try to get those contracts signed and finalized before Mercury retrograde begins on the 21st of April. All right. Or hold off until after the retrograde. Sometimes we just can't. Life happens, right? We can't. We're not in the age and the energy fully yet where we can tell somebody like, let's hold off until Mercury goes direct, please. You know, like not everybody lives like that. So there may be decisions that have to be made during these times, but I feel like a lot of this energy may be happening before, which is good. Always read the fine print. Always know what you're agreeing to. But I feel like there's going to be some really positive developments here. Some really positive agreements coming into play. All right. And I wanted to pull a crystal card for you guys, but I am on a time limit here. I won't be able to read for you, clear everything on it, but I do want to pull a crystal card real quick. Clear. and at least give the message associated. Aries season, crystals that want to work with us, to guide us as we move through, as we move forward. Crystals that want to work with us. All right. We have charoite and sapphire. Charoite is all about individualization. And this is, charoite is a beautiful heart chakra stone too, even though it's purple. Even though it's purple. So obviously it's working with the higher chakras, the crown, maybe third eye, the heart. It actually really works with the heart as well. And sapphire, spiritual truth. So that's a beautiful throat chakra stone right there, right? And then peach calcite on the bottom of the deck, bringing in that harmony, that balance. So let's look real quick at charoite. It's a beautiful stone. See what message that has for us, what that wants to assist us with. Let's see. Balances the receiving of light at the crown chakra with the outputs of the heart, right? Continually reminds us of our individuality as a spirit and opens doors so personal gifts blossom into life. Let's see. Charoite's ability to do this is unequaled in the mineral kingdom and powerfully extends to the opening of the doors behind which the contracts of a lifetime rest. Ooh. These contracts, which we write before birth, are often referred to as the Akashic records of self. Wisdom of them can create a rebirth of sorts through the discovery of life purpose and the true self or individuality. And those of you who resonated with the working with the Akashic records, who watched the Equinox reading, the pick-a-pile, charoite sounds like a great stone to assist you with that, tapping into that. Is able to create a personal space free from outside influences where one becomes more energized and spontaneous, able to manifest a comfort and trust in self that dissolves stress, worry, and fear. Let's see. One of the most important stones on earth for the new children of light to have come to serve the divine plan and lead us home to oneness. In this capacity, charoite activates, translates, and cleanses the astral body and other journey aspects of self via the sleep state. So it's really powerful for children as well as for healing, working with autism and bipolar disorders, liver, pancreas, eyes, alcohol-induced ailments, insomnia. Let's see. Let the spirits of your past live in you and deliver your future through self-love, realize personal power, and the dictation of divine wisdom. You now step upon the path home. If charoite has come to you today, it signals a rebirth of sorts. It is time to become the individual that you are and release yourself on the world. The first steps in doing this are always the releasing of attachments and cutting away outside influences, as they keep us as we are and make change difficult. The loving vibration of charoite, I'm going to hold this up for you while I'm reading it. Make sure that when you are reborn, your spiritual, personal, and individual gifts are embraced. For with them realized, integrity to higher purpose is assured and you will shine. At this important time, you should expect to be challenged by the world and the people around you. They all perceive you a certain way, and most are resistant to change due to its unpredictable and often painful nature. Take care to not be swayed into their perceived idea of you and hold tight to the true self, as it is rebirthed in all its glory. The new you will carry many opportunities as the spirit that you are makes its mark on the world. Trust in your infinite spark. It believes its path has never been so clear. If you have asked for a sign or a call to action, this is the most potent one available. Charoite only arrives when divine purpose is about to be addressed and sent into physicality. The master deva of this stone often delivers messages in music. Listen to some with an open heart. Who knows where you may go? The affirmation for charoite is, my path is clear. I am a spark of the infinite flame. And to discover deeper and open your ability to speak deeper spiritual truths, work with sapphire as well this month. All right, you guys, I love you. I appreciate you. You are so amazing. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you, everyone who's going to be catching this on the replay as well. Oh, how perfect, McKenna. Always in perfect resonance, right? All right. Yeah. I'll look out for that announcement later today. So much love. So much appreciation to each and every single one of you. If you haven't liked this video yet, go ahead and do so. And happy solstice, happy equinox to everybody. All right. Happy equinox, happy new moon, happy Aries season. Just hang in there, you guys. This is going to be such an empowering and just powerful, powerful, potent time for each and every single one of us. All right, and we have this whole tribe. We are all here to support each other through this process. Remember, you are never alone, but you have everything within you that you need in order to really move through this time and blossom into the next version of you that is waiting and ready. All right.